The morning sun cast long shadows over the twisted metal and scorched concrete of Pearl Harbor. Lieutenant Commander Joseph Rashford hunched over his desk, surrounded by stacks of intercepted Japanese messages. It was late April 1942, and he hadn't seen his family for weeks. His uniform was wrinkled, his eyes bloodshot, yet his mind was sharper than ever. He sensed a major operation was coming. Patterns in enemy communications and the surge in radio traffic suggested imminent action. Outside Rashford's windowless basement office, the Pacific Fleet lay in ruins. 4 battleships rested on the harbor floor, hundreds of aircraft destroyed, and over 2,000 Americans had perished in a December attack. Yet Rashford knew America wasn't defeated. They were learning, adapting, and preparing to strike back. A new intercepted message revealed the Japanese needed additional supplies for AF. Rashford's team had been tracking fragments of the massive operation for weeks. Analyzing references to water supply and strategic needs, Rashford realized the target must be Midway, a small but crucial outpost guarding Hawaii. Using a clever ruse, Midway sent an emergency message about water shortages, confirming the enemy's target. Admiral Chester Nimitz, commanding the Pacific Fleet, convened his senior officers. Thanks to Rashford's intelligence, they knew where and approximately when the Japanese would strike. Nimitz trusted his coders and planned a decisive ambush. Repairs on the Yorktown carrier were accelerated, and new tactics were devised for the young and inexperienced pilots. On the atoll, Colonel Harold Shannon inspected a mix of outdated Brewster Buffalo fighters and newer Wildcats. His pilots, largely green, were determined to delay the Japanese advance long enough for the carriers to strike. Every available aircraft was armed, and Marines fortified defensive positions, ready to buy crucial time. Early June, the Japanese fleet advanced with supreme confidence. Radar on Midway detected their incoming strike at 5:52. Air raid sirens blared as Marines and pilots rushed to their positions. Obsolete fighters and inexperienced crews faced overwhelming odds, yet they attacked with determination, disrupting enemy formations and buying time. American dive bombers and torpedo planes took off from the carriers. The initial torpedo attacks suffered heavy losses. Nearly all devastators were destroyed, leaving only Ensign George Gay alive. Despite this, their attacks pulled Japanese fighter cover to sea level, exposing the carrier's flight decks. At 10:22, Enterprise dive bombers spotted the Japanese carriers fully loaded and vulnerable. Precision bombing struck Akagi, Kaga, and Soryu, igniting catastrophic fires and secondary explosions. Within minutes, 3 of Japan's main carriers were burning. Only Hiryu remained operational and retreated northwest while launching a counterstrike. The Japanese aura of invincibility had been shattered. Despite subsequent Japanese attacks, including the damaging of Yorktown, the Americans maintained initiative. By the end of June 4th, all 4 Japanese carriers responsible for Pearl Harbor were destroyed. American forces had suffered losses, but achieved a strategic victory that permanently crippled Japan's offensive capability in the Pacific. The Battle of Midway demonstrated the power of intelligence, preparation, and courage. Codebreakers, commanders, and pilots collaborated to achieve the impossible. The battle marked the rise of carrier aviation as the dominant force in naval warfare, rendering battleships secondary. America's industrial might would now sustain a long-term offensive, and Japan's strategic advantage was permanently lost. Midway became a symbol of intelligence-driven victory, highlighting that preparation, determination, and calculated risk could overcome superior forces. The courage of young pilots, the dedication of support crews, and decisive leadership reshaped naval strategy. This battle demonstrated that democracies, united by purpose and resolve, could prevail against seemingly insurmountable odds.